What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's video I'll show you a simple method on how to draw anxiety from inside out too. For today's lesson we'll need some plain white paper and a pencil. I'll be sketching with this 0.7mm mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick. Now if you want more details on the art supplies we use, I'll leave a list with links in the description below. Now I want to begin today's lesson by adding some guidelines to help with the symmetry and proportions of our drawing. Let's start by sketching a line coming down the center of our page. So we're going to start at the very top in the middle. And we're just going to lightly work our way down towards the bottom using these short lines. Let's go back to the center and draw another line going across from left to right. Now we're going to place two large circles above that center line for the eyes. Let's start right in the middle, right about here. Just going to work our way around the left side, come down and then back in. And these circles don't have to be perfect. You can always go back and just readjust. Now we're going to move over towards the right side and do the same thing. We want to bring that up towards the same height. And we can add another line going across the top to help align this along the top and come down towards the bottom. Let's move to the center of each eye, step in, draw a smaller circle for the iris and pupil, going all the way around. And I want to measure this distance over towards the right and do the same thing, and just line these up. And again, we can always come back and readjust them later. Now we're going to go back in between the eyes, step up and just trace the eyes along the outside with a thin trim going all the way around. Again, doesn't need to be perfect. As you come down towards the bottom, I'm just going to add some thickness to the fold and then pull that up in the middle. And do the same thing on the right. Just working our way around, go a little bit thicker in the bottom and then back in. Now you want to leave a gap underneath the eyelid, step down and add a curve from left to right. So come down from the left side and then up on the right. Let's bend this up and then out towards the side. Let's round out the corners of the mouth. Come down and in. I'm just going to bend this up in the middle. I'm just going to touch the upper lip and back down towards the right. Let's trace the mouth along the outside, starting underneath the left eye, going all the way around. Again, just following that same curve, just pulling that in towards the bottom. I'm just going to flatten off the bottom. Now I want to move back up to the top and add in the hair, leaving a gap in the center. Let's start on the left side. Start by going straight up to right about there. Take that same distance over towards the right. Now I'm just going to pull the hair coming down. Just going to round out the top on the left side and then come down towards the side and then just match that up on the right. Let's go back to the left side. Just going to work our way around the outside, going around in towards the middle and then come down on the right. Let's place the eyebrows along the top. We're going to start on the inside, bend this down and out towards the left, just on top of the eye. Line this up on the right. Do the same thing. Coming down and then out. From the top, just going to round this out. Come down and then bend that out towards a point. Now that we have the basic shape of the head, let's move down and define the width of the body. From this point, we're going to step over towards the left, draw a straight line coming all the way down towards the bottom. And then again, just measuring that distance over towards the right and do the same thing. Now from the top of the neck, we're going to step down and add a curve, coming down and then up. And then on the side, just going to add a small circle for the shoulders. From the base of the collar, step down and add a curve, coming down and then up. Now I want to widen out the pant. So let's start on the left hip, come down, and then bend that out to right about there, and line that up on the right. Let's round out the bottom of the leg, coming down, and then pull that up in towards the center line, and do the same thing on the right. Now I leave a gap in the center and just tuck the legs in underneath. Step over towards the left, draw a straight line coming down towards the heel, and do the same thing on the right. Now you want to round out the bottom of the feet. We're going to come down and then out towards the toe on both sides. Let's go back to the left side. We're going to round out the toe, going up, and then pull that down towards the bottom of the foot. Now from the top of the foot, we're going to step in, bend the outside leg coming in, and then go up underneath the pant leg. Now we're going to go back up to the top and add some shape to the arms. Let's start from the outside of the shoulders. I'm going to bend the arm coming down and then out towards the elbow to right about there. And from the elbow, round this out, come down and then in toward that center line. Now along the inside of the arms, we're going to draw two ovals. We're going to go up along the side and then back in on the left and draw the same size oval on the right. From the top of the oval, I'm just going to bend this down and then out towards the elbows. Now I want to add some shape and volume to the hands. Let's start from the outside of the oval. We can draw a circle going around the top and back in on both sides. Now that we have the rough sketch in place, we're going to go back and clean this up by erasing some of these guidelines. Now that we have our clean rough sketch, we can use this as a guide to help us layer on some more detail and contrast. So I'm going to start with the eyes. I'm going to switch to a 0.9mm pencil. Just add some more darkness and contrast going around the iris. And here we can make some adjustments if we need to. So just matching up the size. Just darken up the edges. Now along the top right side, we're going to add a small circle for highlight. And then in the center of the iris, we're going to go and draw a small circle for the pupil going in behind the highlight. And I'm just going to go back and just darken that up. And we're going to lightly shade in the inside of the iris, starting along the top. Just going to go a little bit darker along the top, and then gradually fade that down towards a glare along the bottom of the eye. Now we're going to work our way around the perimeter of the eyes. I also want to add a little bit more shape to the eyes. Instead of a circle, we're just going to flatten off the bottom a little bit. Just going to layer the lower eyelid on top of the eye, so it's not perfectly round. I'm just going to tuck the right eye in behind the center. Enhance that fold in between the eyes, and then just fade that out across the bottom. Now we're just going to work our way up towards the eyebrows. We'll go ahead and just darken up the inside. And then with the hair, we're going to add some texture. So starting across the bottom, I'm just going to lightly add these lines going up, and then just fade them out. Working our way across towards the right. Add some lines coming down. And then we're just going to separate the hair along the top. So we're going to use this as a boundary, as a guide. Just putting the hair coming down, and then tapering that in. So just going to add some layers and texture. This texture doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to fade that in to give the impression of separate hairs. On the inside, we're just going to separate this out. Some lines going up and out. Now I'm going to move down and start working on the mouth. I'm just going to add a little bit of shape to the upper lip. Just a couple more bends going across. You want to start with the inside edge of the mouth first. And now I'm going to add in the top row of teeth. Start with the middle, and then just work our way. And now just working our way down towards the body. And again, we're just going to add some more shape to these stripes and these lines. Just going to add that thick stripe across the base of the neck. And then just trace out the top. And we're just going to work our way around the shoulders, coming down the arms. Now with the hands, we want to start with the bottom of the wrist, coming in, and then pull this up across the palm. I'm just going to layer the fingers going across, in towards the middle, just bending this in, round out the finger, and then bend that back out. And I want to layer 3 more fingers on top. So a total of 4 fingers. Come out towards the outside of the hand, and then bend that down towards the cuff. I'm just going to mirror that over on the left side. Now I'm just going to add those X's across the laces from the ankles coming down towards the end of the toe. Now I'm going to switch to my 2mm pencil and start adding some shadows and tones. So we start with the hair, just going to darken up the base and then just fade that up and out. We're also adding a little bit more rough texture inside. So just brushing the hairs going up and out. Is darken up the top of the eyelids, and we're just going to fade that down as we come out towards the side. Let's shade in that bevel just up above the lip, so adding a thick shadow on the top. And I'm just going to fade this out towards the side. A little bit darker on the left side, going around the corner. Go back in and darken up the inside of the mouth going around the teeth. add a medium shade to the legs and the boots. And we'll darken up the top of the boots and then fade that down to create a bit of a shadow. And then the same thing across the top of the body. The shadow is going to be cast from the arms. Also shading in the center. Now as you get closer to the end, we're just going to add a little bit more texture and shadows, and always be sure to sign our artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of Anxiety from Inside Out 2. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please make sure you subscribe because I'm posting new lessons every single day. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.